So, you're coming to Florence. You know what? I get this all the time from family, friends, my children's friends, and they always ask, where should I stay? Where should I go? What should I see? What should I skip? How many days do I need? Now, I want to share with you some of the answers to those questions, Florence style. So in this episode, I'm going to answer some of those key questions as I share this lovely walk with you. Now, if you enjoy what you see, share with a friend, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Andiamo, let's go. It is so picturesque up here, without a doubt. Now, my first question, how many days do you need here in Florence? And you know what? The Tourist Bureau gives out that sort of data. The average stay is 2.5 days here in Florence, pretty typical to Venice, which is 2 days. Rome is around the 3 days. That's your general triangular visit for people visiting Italy, Rome, Venice, Florence. You know what? 60 to 70,000 people arrive here in Florence every day. You wouldn't think it standing up here, would you? Just a breath of fresh air coming up here. And actually, the locals don't want the tourists to know this place exists. And what about the best time of the year to visit? Hey, my advice, if you can, avoid July and August unless you enjoy the sauna experience. It's so hot here. Most locals head away for their summer vacation. Personally, myself and my wife, we head back to Aussie or some other destination because it's pretty brutal. No relief at all with the heat. Best time? Look, winter's cold, but the crowds are a little bit lower. You know, September, October, November, February, March, April, May. You know, they're probably best times I would suggest to try and plan a visit here. Now, is Florence walkable? The historical centre is so compact. So yes, for sure, just wear comfortable shoes. Look, I've stopped wearing my high heels because the cobblestones, I've done so many ankles. Is Florence safe, specifically at night? Look, I have not experienced any issues whatsoever, but Florence is like any other city. You've just got to take a bit of care of your personal belongings, don't you? You know, pickpocketing occurs. Why have your iPhone in your back pocket? You've got to be sensible there, don't you? And what about the food here? Is it as good as they say? Well, look, I'm thinking the 3 Ps. Pizza, pasta, pastries, and let's throw in the B, bistecca, the steak. That's about it for most of your hundreds of restaurants here in Florence. And look, you know what? I know people want restaurant recommendations and so on, but I think, personally, you're missing out on the fun of exploring and finding a restaurant that sort of speaks to you. You give it a go, and look, they're all pretty good, to be honest. We've had 1 or 2 not so nice experiences, but that's 1 or 2 out of the hundreds of restaurants. And you know what? 2 nights ago, we had some Chinese. We were just feeling like something a little bit different. So there you go. Look, have some fun exploring and finding a restaurant that's really going to speak to you. You create the experience. And this walk is really lovely. I'll provide a little snapshot in a moment. Look, the walk is above Oltrarno, Oltrarno being on the southern side of the Arno River, so it's out of the historical centre, and you don't see too many tourists here. And I'm thinking the average stay for most tourists is 2.5 days. You're not going to venture up into this area to the south of Florence. But for our second or third visitors to Florence, this is certainly a recommendation. There's no one around, you're seeing some lovely villas. It's just really nice. Okay, so we've done this walk a few times now, and you know what, in a new area, you just see so many unexpected things around the corner, like the 14th century UNESCO Chiesa church that we didn't know was there. Look, today it was closed, but that's what I mean. You're walking along and you come around the corner and think, wow, look at that. We haven't been down this little strata before, this street. What's around the corner? And where should I stay when you arrive here in Florence? This hotel is second to none. And what about the views? Just fantastic. Historical centre, where I live. And look, you're in amongst the hustle and bustle, and I really enjoy that. But another suggestion for you is the Oltrarno district, specifically Santo Spirito, San Frediano. You're just outside the historical centre, 5-minute walk to get back in to the historical centre. It's so authentic. Up in the morning, find a cafe, bar, and you'll be having a coffee with the locals, Italian style, pastry, and so on. Quite authentic, and that would be my recommendation. So the equivalent on the northern side of Florence would be in the distance, the hills of Fiesole. So that's a bus trip out of Florence. It takes you a bit longer, whereas here, you just purely walk up. And you can see in the distance, Duomo, Palazzo Vecchio, Santa Croce Basilica. Great views, no one around. And what about the buildings behind? Have a look at that. I think we'll go left. No, we can't go left. Now, do I need to book museum tickets in advance? For sure. The last thing you want to do is spend your precious time in a long line. Having said long lines, today is the first Sunday of the month, 1st of Feb. Museum entries are free. So if you get there early, there you go, you save a few euro. If you arrive a little bit later, it's the longest line I've ever seen. Look, book your tickets before arriving in Florence. Get your designated beat the line time so you can walk up and get in quite efficiently. This walk's just amazing. So what do tourists often miss out on seeing when they're here in Florence? I've thought long and hard about this one because you know what? On average, a tourist is here for 2.5 days only. There's so much to see here in Florence and you cannot possibly see everything in that short period of time. So yes, try and get to see the iconic locations, Duomo, Accademia with David, Uffizi perhaps. But to really enjoy Florence, I think you need to be sitting down at a piazza, enjoying a wine, enjoying a beer, having a meal and taking your time, watching people and just enjoy where you are. Don't put yourself under pressure thinking that you have to see everything on your first visit. Enjoy the fact that you're probably going to come back once more. So enjoy the thought that perhaps you're going to have to come back to Florence a second or even third time. Now that's a lovely thought to hold on to. What about the language? Can you get by with just English? A quick answer to that, yes. Most people here in Italy and specifically Florence are bilingual, so it just makes it so much easier. Unfortunately then, I'm not forced to pick up my Italian skills and consequently I've been a bit of a slow learner there. Okay, so the walk's coming to an end with the Porta Romana behind me. Final question, what about gelato? Are you an ice cream fan? I don't mind it, to be honest. And all I'll say is avoid the fluffy, mountainous looking gelato that you'll see in some of the shops around Florence. By the way, I've got a new gelato establishment I'll show you just in a minute. And look, as I walk to get a gelato, just a few things to keep in mind. Avoid the high, fluffy looking ice cream that is very colourful. The original, authentic ice cream is quite dull in colour and nothing fluffy about the authentic ice cream. So this gelato store, it's a relatively new establishment, by the way, is quite close to Repubblica, and you might be able to see the carousel in the background. And we're looking for Via del Corso. And look, here it is, Barricino. And the first thing that might stand out for you is the fact that the flavours are quite unique, aren't they? So not quite a bucket, but a decent sized cup, €6. And I'll tell you what, pistachio with salt from Volterra, I'm really enjoying it. Quite a unique flavour. Barricino, it's a new player on the gelati scene here in Florence. I've previously done an episode, my top 5 selections, and this place wasn't around then, about 18 months ago I did that video. So, certainly a great recommendation for you from me. Barricino, it's in Via del Corso, just very, very close to the Repubblica where the carousel is. Can't miss it. So that concludes our Sunday morning walk and the Q&A session. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and if you have, share with a friend, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We're currently walking through the Piazza Santo Spirito, and it is Sunday morning market day. Next episode, I'm going to share with you a few interesting stories about trying to find a new apartment here in Florence. Well, you see, our lease is about to conclude. Also coming up, a trip to the Maldives. I'm looking forward to that. That's not too far away either. Expat Lifestyle with Bads. I'm in the Santo Spirito Piazza, and I'll see you next episode. Ciao.